Hey there, thank you so much for tuning into our podcast. But before I take you to your show, I have a very small request to make. Do check out the other episodes that we have created so far. And as you know, we are available on all major music and podcast streaming apps across the world. So, whichever podcasting platform you're listening to, do hit the follow button and leave us a rating, as that will help us improve our content and reach a wider audience. And with that, welcome to the show. All right, everybody. I hate to say it, but we are back again. Another episode of banter between me and Priya. Priya, say hello, everybody.
First of all, people whomsoever it may concern, say hello to KG Bhaiya. He's back. He's back in India, guys. Show some enthusiasm, KG Bhaiya. You cannot just the sloppy way of your entrance should not be appreciated. Show some enthusiasm. I know you're sleepy.
I think and this statement would have been more valid for King Charles if he would have visited India, not me. Because, and also, Priya, this is the first time we are recording the podcast in the same time zone.
Exactly my point.
Wow.
Otherwise, also, I got to know that you have been sleeping really early these days
I
since the
cannot
time you
tell you
arrived.
this thing. I think they're intoxicating me with the food or something. 9:30 up. I just start falling asleep. Anything. I'm on a chair and I'm sleeping. It's just that bad.
How
I
was your
I, I don't know what
experience?
with food is going great so far. So, and suddenly I've started to get a lot of respect in my house. Yesterday night, um, I just talking like I think I haven't had dosa for very long and something like that. I was just letting these words out in my house in the atmosphere of the people. And I was telling that, it has been very long that I haven't had dosa and all. And today morning, it was
Dosa
dosa.
was on your plate. Oh my god, miracle.
It was
Ah,
dosa for breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. I just
moment of epiphany for you. Really good.
should cry. I should cry. But yeah, it's just happening this way. You say somebody, you ask somebody like, shall we meet? And they're like, this afternoon, will that work for you? Oh my God, I thought you'll take 3 days to agree. But no,
Oh,
uh, uh, as it's becoming a better world. People are just becoming better and better than what they were few years back.
how do you like?
Moreover, you know,
Yeah, have you seen any changes in
yeah,
India? Have you come across any such
I
thing?
think become pathetic. Every place is getting constructed, and I think our generation will just go through the construction, and I think our children will have the actual constructed thing. They'll experience the constructed architecture, whatever. I think our generation will just keep struggling with the construction and the traffic jams and the roadblocks. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I
what
hate
is
it.
up with this
I hate it.
90s
It's
kid
like,
suffering? Yeah.
I'm sorry. I sound like a, but I think traffic congestion in different cities in India right now. So we'll address the elephant in the room a little later. But before that, I'll say that okay, earlier the traffic in Pune wasn't that bad. Okay, it uh, it was like okayish or something. I would say
Okay.
when I was there last week for a day, it feeling terrible because the traffic, rains, and the metro construction. I got there, like the entire city is big, and everything is just single lane. There's nothing,
Yes.
uh, nothing getting better there. in near future is what I see, at least for next 3 to 5 years. So I just hope the construction gets completed a little quicker, and the I mean all the residents in, because the offices have opened, people who went to their hometowns, they are back, so the obviously the traffic is more, people have started to come back to offices. So uh, it's just causing a lot of trouble. And you know
Hmm.
what, this just happened today. Like in Ranchi, I went to pick a friend from the bus stop. He had to go to the airport, pick him up, and I'll drop him at the airport, like that, something. And so while I was going to the bus stop, there was this construction going on for a flyover. And I remember this construction was happening for like last 4 years. It's still in
Hmm.
process. And today I was stuck right there at the construction site, middle of the road, for like 20 minutes straight. And it's not like a moving traffic. The engines were off. And then
Hmm.
out of frustration, I was just looking around and checking like what's was the thing with the construction, how are people doing, how much time it should take. So I was just looking around, there was no labor, there was nobody working at
Hmm.
that. So basically the road is dug, it's blocked, it has become 1 lane, which was earlier 3 lane, now it has like narrowed down to 1 lane, and everybody is just standing there. And this is the status of construction and traffic, which is just, it's so irritating at times, it's so irritating.
Yeah, also all across our country, the highlight has been Bangalore, of course. Uh,
Always.
yeah, the news with where, of course, the traffic and the rain, extreme condition we all are facing. Even in Pune, the rainfall, the intensity has increased since last year, and this is what we hear every year, that the intensity has increased, the climate change,
You know
etc.,
that
etc. But
uh,
because of this condition, this story, there is always a story which binds us together, and we feel, oh, okay, we should take a look on this thing. Of course, people are getting stuck, and there might have been emergencies there, but a doctor, he has to leave for a crucial surgery, and then in the middle of the traffic, he was 3 kilometers away from the hospital, and then he ran. He left his car and he ran, and he also had a clip of him running,
yeah.
recorded in his cell phone, so he could show that the condition is getting so much worse. I think the construction thing which you mentioned is so much relatable to each and every city, KGB. I'm not even like highlighting these metro cities. It's also in smaller towns as well.
Yeah.
So it's
So
really a concern which should be
so
addressed as soon as possible, because people come like tourists, and if we want any like visitors in our country, it should not leave a mark of, okay, well, last year we were here and it was a construction going on. Just as you said, you got back after 1.5 year and it's still the same, and I really feel bad that the side which you mentioned, I do feel bad.
it's it's I mean, let's go back to Bangalore. It's not mostly about the construction that's causing the traffic congestion there. I think it has been the case for very long that Bangalore is a planned city, as far as I know. I've never visited Bangalore, but some of my relatives who live there, a lot of friends who live there, they say that the traffic is there like all the time, irrespective of anything. And there are some worst cases that we have heard during the rainy season. Not, I'm not talking about this year. In the previous years, where people left for home at 8 p.m. From their offices, and they reached at around what, 3 a.m. in the morning. Can you imagine? Because waterlogging because of like zero movement of the traffic. It and who I mean, kudos to this doctor who thought that his duty is that important that he needs to run right away. Otherwise, there's something important that he's gonna miss, which might be the case in so many other things. I mean, uh, this was just a surgery. There may be somebody who's stuck in an ambulance and he needs to reach to the hospital as quickly as possible, or some other doctor who needs to do a transplant or treat somebody who had just got an heart attack or something like that. So you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Is it, and not just the doctors, man, not just the doctors. People, common people like who have just normal jobs. How can you justify somebody stuck in traffic for 4 hours? I'm saying minimum 4 hours a day, 2 hours each side, and
Imagine going back and your child is already asleep, and you, in the morning, you saw him sleeping, and now when you're back, he's still sleeping. So the time is gone, and okay, it's fine. The traffic issue has been is subjected, like highlighted since really long time, but the concern has reached to such extent that even IT companies are raising this concern that our employees are getting stuck, and every day they are getting late, and just because, okay, it's fine, they are getting late, that's why they must have highlighted this. But if it's a planned city and it's happening there, and the chaos with the rainfall, and even if you're rich, even if it doesn't matter if you own a bungalow or a flat or anything, you are gonna get stuck with the uh, excessive water inside your house. Imagine things floating inside your house. So the situation is getting worse.
I think, yeah, Bangalore is just getting pathetic. I just saw a video sometime in the evening where there was this very posh colony
Correct.
where the ground floor was totally filled with water, and
So yeah, like lake or something.
the rich,
The image just doesn't.
expensive stuff in your houses, in your bungalows, like a piano. An acoustic piano was kept and it was drowning. And I was like, it was floating, and I was like, oh my God, these guys, all the rich cars, all the expensive high-end luxury cars were just parked like neck deep in water.
Felt like we were watching some Tom and Jerry episode because it was so. We used to always think, uh, floating and like playing
And
on the road or something like that. But
this is
it's
not
quite
us.
disturbing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying this is not Bihar or Assam where we come across this news that okay, floods are coming every year and this is happening. This is Bangalore, which is generating so much of revenue every year for the government because of the taxes that people pay there because of the. Uh, I mean, it's a special economic zone, right? Where there's so many companies, so many headquarters of different companies, so many employees working from there, and I mean, how? I mean, I don't have a
It's
say.
yeah, I understand. Let's
Is
let's keep you a bit aside from this very triggering topic. I know how much you were, uh,
am I
annoyed with the fact that traffic system is really getting out of hand. I'm going to tell you a news about a man who actually celebrated his divorce,
well?
and
Sounds like a friend.
so yeah, Bhopal-based NGO is organizing a ceremony for such kind of men who went through recent divorce cases or something, and they thought that the thought behind this was really sweet, that it should give a motivation to people that life doesn't end here.
Hmm.
It's the beginning, so let's just celebrate. It was really like long drawn divorce battle, so it was much needed, I would say, worth it. Why should women have all the fun? It was that kind of.
Mm. Somebody's getting influenced now. Somebody's getting brainwashed by me now.
No, I've always been
Brainwashed by me.
towards no towards the joyous side of any story.
Irrespective of
Yeah, I'm the
gender.
middle child guy, guys. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, but just, putting this statement out, I'm the middle child, you get away with a lot of things, okay?
I do, I do, and I love that. I
Okay.
do get, but nobody cares again because I'm the middle child. Nobody cares even about that fact that I'm putting this out again and again. So,
Yeah.
talking about like celebrating misery and like end of an era or something.
No, no, let's just before we move on, let's talk about this particular thing where the divorce party was kind of organized. So, um, so we have we have heard a lot of these things like people organizing breakup parties and um,
Correct.
separation parties. Love Ajkal was one of the examples, the earlier one, where they actually had like a party uh,
Yes, yes.
after their breakup. So,
Both of
it,
them.
if it's a mutual separation where you feel like fine, it just didn't work out the way we wanted, and we are happy in our lives, just that we are not happy together. Let's have a toast. Let's celebrate this and wish each other good in all good sense is what I'm talking. No cynicism and all
Yeah.
good, all fun. Like this will just be very humorous also, and it'll be very light with respect to the society if you see, because we make so much of a news out of it, like somebody just got divorced, oh my god, he's a divorcee or she's a divorcee. You just fall into that bracket of the society where you have to be looked upon in a different way, in a
Yeah, I
separate.
mean the stigma is still there, so we
Yeah.
can't, irrespective of whichever country you're living in. I would
Yeah.
say.
There's so many young people who get divorced at the very early stages of their marriage, maybe because of some or the other reason which didn't work for them. It can be anything, but they do have all the right to have every kind of fun in their lives going forward, right? And
Yeah.
having, maybe they were in a very toxic relationship and it just got ended, and it just demanded a celebration. So I think I'm all in for a divorce party, Priya.
You're not even married. How can you think of a divorce party already?
Okay.
No, you should be thinking about your bachelor party or something.
Well, I can have a bachelor's party, but there's no marriage party happening.
Oh my god, why? Okay, let's not go there.
Talking about the parties topic.
We should not.
The party right now, I don't think there's any best party. They're all getting worse day by day. I was talking about political parties.
But the question was I was asking which misery of yours, not related to your love affair or any such bond which you shared with someone, but can you think of any, like, this is end of an era thing and I'm going to celebrate it and you won't regret it? Which part do you think should be celebrated? Have you ever celebrated this? I mean,
Now, if I look from where I'm standing right now, now I look back, I think like there are a lot of things that could have been celebrated well. Okay.
yes.
Like end of school, when you finally like got your 12th boards done and you started looking for colleges and everything, and you for the first time you left home and went to a different city to live all by your own with strange roommates and a different city altogether and everything. That could have been celebrated. We get nervous. We get, I mean, we start thinking a lot. We become calculative, but No, I think now if I look back, I think that could have been a celebration because that's a new start. It's not a end. It's just a new start.
Hmm,
Then
that's a sweet.
uh, end of college again, getting a job. All of these things we do celebrate in like whatever form we
Yeah.
could at time. But if I just like think with respect of milestones, like okay, these are milestones. Moving out of college, now getting into a job where you again meet different people who just have very different expectations from you. Totally a corporate thing. Nobody's your friend. Everybody's just saving their asses and uh, those kind of things. So again, now that demands a celebration. Okay, fine, let's do it. We'll fight this out. And
Hmm.
can be for anything and everything. Any small thing could be celebrated. A small one line appreciation from anybody, like son, you're doing a good job, or your boss says like that this was good. I didn't expect this, but it turned out to be great. Or you got a good picture and somebody just commented, "Oh God, you look so good in this dress." It's time for a celebration. We just wait for something huge to happen in our lives to celebrate. Like, okay, fine, the day I'll buy a house, we'll celebrate. Or the day I get promoted, a day I get a new job, a better salary, we'll celebrate. No,
Yeah, we are actually skipping these mini celebrations.
every evening is a celebration.
Yeah.
Wow, what a sunset. Let's celebrate this. Wow,
Also,
it's
there
raining.
are few people in your life who don't speak much, and when they do, and when they, in a better way, they actually congratulate you or say few words about you, which you would have never imagined that they have noticed this. Oh my god. So our brain just registers this thing, and we never ever forgets that particular line from that particular person. For example, uh dadaji, he once said that, Priya, you are uh, very like a parrot you are. हिंदी में कहते हैं कि तुम एकदम तोता हो और एकदम मुंहफट हो तुम, और ये बहुत अच्छी बात है तुम्हारी. He said you're like a parrot because everyone I used to meet, I used to copy the way they talk, the hand gestures, even the way they sit. Everything I used to copy, and I was very little at that time, but I still remember how he said it, the way he said it, and the voice is still in my ears. I can still recall that because he really is a man who just
That's your
keeps his calm. And so
very, very
yeah.
in a way.
Yes.
To-
So
Tota Priya. Yeah, this is
uh,
cool because yeah, celebrations. I mean, we would just sum up this topic. Celebrations should be of any form. They're welcome because let's not just wait for something huge to happen in our lives, something great, that a great milestone that we are waiting. Let's not just wait for all of those things. Anything
yeah.
good that's happening should be celebrated. Any little thing, like I see a lot of my friends who are now parents, and they tell me when I talk to them and they talk about their kids growing up. I mean, may it be just 1 year of the kid, but every day they celebrate. Like, okay, he's started saying a new word today, or he just stood on his legs for the first time, and he held the table. He called me dad. He called me whatever. I think this is where we realize not just the kid that's telling us. This is a life lesson basically, where we need to go back and recheck, rethink. Like so many celebrations we missed, but I'm not gonna miss anything more going forward. So I think yes, I love the dosa this morning.
Really good. Okay, some man in Gujarat is also celebrating the deceitful act he did. So he removed thumb skin and like thumbskin from his lawyer friend, and he pasted it on like sorry, correction. He removed his thumbskin and he pasted it on his lawyer friend's hand to appear for exam. It was like full Munna Bhai episode happening, and full peeling off thing, and what was that, Powerpuff Girls, that thing was happening, chemical and everything. Peeling off and then putting it on thumb, and with the use of that hot pan and affixing it. What was happening for that railway job?
He could
So,
impression of his friend. I mean, the person who's gonna appear for him for the exam. This is top level cheating. Genius.
I always have imagined doing this, but never have I thought that this could actually be practically possible.
This is
You can
wild.
peel off these things. Oh my god.
Now this needs blood. Okay, this is blood act. So better not do it.
Already Munna Bhai ka that music, backdrop music is going on in
How can he be a topper? How would I know?
my.
Yeah, how would you know? Well,
Yeah, how would you know?
uh, happening. They're peeling off the thumb skin just to get the thumb impressions. But yeah, I think in India, cheating has been very prominent in um, most parts. I
Since
would
ages. Yeah.
say it's just North India or South India, East or West, nothing like that. It has been happening everywhere in different forms and different kinds and different, you can say, different types of inventions are happening for cheating. I remember this, there was this very viral picture of some school in UP or Bihar where people were studying, people were giving exams, and the entire building was covered by people who were there to provide them cheats for their answer sheets, for their answers. And
Mm.
standing on the roof, standing on the windows, like it was risky while they were hanging around the building on like the roofs or on the windows and just giving those chits for the answers. And I was like, man, this is so
What
risky.
kind of unethical world is this? Like, invigilator is not there. What is happening? Which board was this? Must be a state board or something.
Skateboard or something. And you know what? Also, this, I mean, there was a step taken by the state government where they installed CCTV cameras in the
Mm.
schools or colleges where the exams were to be held. And would you believe only like 18% of the people attended the exams when CCTV was installed because
Mhm.
rest of the 82 percentage thought that fine, we'll get caught in this.
Oh,
So that's the reason only 18% of the people attended because they were like fine and CCTV would have caught the others. So my goodness.
in retrospect, I feel something was wrong with the like base level education that they thought of doing this. I feel it should have been taken care beforehand.
Yeah, this is the
Then,
when we come out and these people are people who have just cheated their through their ways throughout the exams in different exams and their lives. And once we see them in the real world, in the corporate world, and we see that okay, he has or she has all the required degree for this but he's not able to answer, is not able to perform. And this is the basic reason. Even if he or she is able to perform, provided the training that's provided in corporates or different fields, but the basic etiquettes of a educated person is missing.
yeah.
So these could be the very reasons.
Speaking of cheating and all of these scenarios, have you watched Jamtara from Netflix?
I watched the first season, the second one I haven't.
How was it?
First one was good. It's very true. Whatever is happening, whatever they're showing is absolutely true. I
Yeah,
know people who have been cheated.
same here. I've seen like
All
yeah. Currently, the electricity bill has been used as a, you know, click the link and you'll get the money deducted.
yeah, and mm, nowadays I see some ads on televisions as well, like um, beware of. I think this is something new initiative taken up by the government or something for preventing such frauds. But it's very prominent. It's happening real time, and none of it is lie. Whatever you see in Jamtara, there's actually a group in Jamtara, not just one group. There are actually a set of people in Jamtara who carry out these things, and it's scary. It's absolutely scary.
Is it is.
And what else are you watching on Netflix?
I was rewatching The Crown because oh, what a coincidence! We were about to talk about Queen Elizabeth, but I was rewatching The Crown since last month, and just just caught with one scene. Of
What?
course, the actress who played Diana, she was like amazing. The even the expression she copied and the way she lifted her, the way she was carrying her persona, Princess Diana. I was so mesmerized that I wanted to look back again. And then yeah, nothing new as such. I'm gonna watch Manifest soon because you recommended it.
I recommended Manifest to a lot of people, and I don't think anybody has watched it. But
The thing with Manifest is episode 1, after 10 minutes when they got off the plane and they got disturbed, I got disturbed so much watching it. I was like, why is everyone not reacting the way I am? I was disturbed by that fact. So it gave me a bit anxiety, and so I thought I should close it. But
uh,
I'll regather my courage to watch it again and continue it and, you know,
very intelligent show. It's a very well made show. It's not that they're showing you anything that's something hard to believe, but they made it very professionally. And I think for anybody who loves suspense thrillers, they would definitely like it. But you know, okay, fine. But apart from Manifest, I just started watching this season of Indian matchmaking. And
oh,
goodness, Seema Aunt is addictive. I thought
correction, KGB. Seema from Mumbai.
Seema Auntie from Mumbai.
Yeah. She doesn't include her surname as well. She's like, I am Seema. Seema from Mumbai. Not even Taparia she had. So she's like, I'm Seema from Mumbai. Anyway, yeah, I watched season 2 first and then I watched season 1. And then
Oh,
I was like, okay,
okay, fine. This isn't good.
this is how people are struggling. Yeah.
So yeah, talking about the crown and the Queen Elizabeth II is no more at the age of 96. She left the earth, and apparently there are a lot of jokes and meme that's coming out.
Yeah, they were light-hearted. I would say they were not with the intention to offend.
Yeah,
Of
nothing
course. Yeah.
in that sense. But there's this long debate going on about the Kohinoor diamond. Should that be returned to India?
I
But
think it
we,
should
about the,
before you say anything else.
we won't talk about the controversial things that
Hmm.
the Queen ordered, or the horrific things that happened under her regime or whatever, and different colonies around the world. So India got its independence in 1947, but there were a lot of other British colonies which were there even after that till late 60s or something. Not exactly sure of the year. Mm. But during those times also, it was, I mean, it was not very good, to be very honest. So, some countries like South Africa and all, they have come up with a notice that we won't condemn the death of the queen because, of course, she wasn't a very good, she wasn't a well wisher for our country, and a lot of atrocities happened during her regime and things that she signed the orders for. And I think India did condemn it for a day,
Yeah,
and
on Sunday. Yeah.
yeah, it was a national mourning that took place.
Yeah. I really liked how like Mumbai Dabbawalas also joined to pay homage. Like the head of
Yeah.
yeah, Mumbai Dabbawala Associate. So he also was in Baikala railway station. He paid the homage and he mentioned how they had breakfast with the royal family, and they also presented them with traditional sari and that Maharashtrian turban and everything when prince and princess.
Hey, do you
We
think that would have wore any of it?
They do keep it, but I don't think after returning back they must have used it.
I think that there are a lot of like protocols on what they are wearing. A dress is not complete without the gloves and so many things.
You're talking about the clothes and gloves. They are so strict with the even the eye movements should be like proper.
Thank God.
So yeah,
Otherwise, it would have been very difficult to survive. But yeah, coming back to the Kohinoor, it's not just the Kohinoor, okay? Kohinoor, the price of Kohinoor is what? Um, I think it's 1.5 lakh crores in Indian rupees. Is the most expensive. I'm not sure of this figure again. A disclaimer. It's somewhere around that. It's not very far away either side.
but
So it's the most expensive piece of diamond in the world.
correct.
Now, the people of UK or the not the people actually, the kingdom. They say that this has been gifted to them. Nobody knows. Fine, and it's a debate. It's a ongoing debate where even the ministers and people in the cabinet of Britain, they were asked to return and they denied it upfront. Like it's not going back. They're not having it back. And recently, I was like watching a not a documentary, but kind of a video of a museum in UK in London where all of these things, all of the different things that are antique things that are stored, that are kept there in that museum. One part of Kohinoor was kept, and there were so many swords of different kings from India. And my goodness, those swords are anything, any piece of rock which is there, may not be gold or diamond, but so many valuable and expensive things were there in that museum. And I think it's just a museum which is out there for public, but there would be so many other things which are inside the palace, you know, many antique things which they have got from different colonies that they had during their like peak regime across the world.
But the
And
people here debating upon throwing these statements like India wouldn't have taken care of such diamonds and such jewels and such swords. These are all our prides, and we wouldn't have taken care as compared to the British family, the British royal family, the way they are taking care and they have been taking care. I discourage such uh, comments because I don't think, not neither do I support this thing, that it's fine. We accepted the fact that it's fine if they took it. I'm not okay with such kind of backstabbing, deceitful acts, and the misery they created when they, the with the colonization and everything. I completely disagree with the fact, whenever in any discussion people say, even joking, even in a sarcastic way, they say we wouldn't have taken care of the Kohinoor as much as they are. I disagree.
I think, come on, we I know what kind of an argument is that we won't be able to take care. We can take care of anything and we are taking care of 130, 40 billion people. Can't we take care of one single thing? But um, it's okay. Kohinoor is, we were talking about so many other gifts as well apart from the Kohinoor. Which, do you know the swords that the kings used to have? They were made of, a lot of it was like some really amazing metal and really sharp, and it used to be considered as the strength of the king. The stronger the king, the better is their sword, right? And so many of them are in the museums. So there was this news anchor from one of the news channels in Britain itself, and he was like, if tomorrow on an intelligence agency or an investigation agency, they just raid one of the museums, it will be a perfect crime scene because everything is either stolen from some place, and they just say that it was,
Really,
they just say that it's gifted, but no,
they are not. They're stolen. They were looted. I mean,
looted.
Tipu Sultan's like legendary sword was taken away. Like he was killed and by the EIC army, brutally killed and taken away. And the sword is now kept in, as you said, in the museums in London. I disagree with the fact that they were gifted or in such a way, and the fact that how history is depicted or how history is taught in among the citizens of United Kingdom, I don't think they actually show how brutally their army were towards every other region, how they treated especially Indians. They scrutinizing it in a way how they are unaware still that the way colonization happened for spices, for swords, for gold, for each and every precious thing we had, they looted it like anything.
It's,
So it's not gifted for
and
sure.
you know, apart from the looting part aspect of it, um, it they just left every country where they colonized so helpless at the end of it. Like when they just sucked every bit of whatever the country had to offer, and then they left. And that particular so it's always said that they'll rule you for 200 years, but they'll be in your minds for in all of your lifetime, for next 1,000 years. So that was like the idea of their colonization, is they'll inject things in your head, like you'll be a gulam uh, throughout, no matter what. You'll be a gulam of their thoughts. You'll start thinking the way the British used to think, and you'll feel like, okay, that was the right thing to do. And we just need to come get over that. We just need to get over that in every possible thing. We have such a rich heritage, such amazing history of brave people. And I think we
True.
need And it's not just with our country, with every country that they colonized in Africa. I think apart from also like out of 200 something countries, I remember they invaded around 150 countries. They tried to attack 150 countries. And even if they colonized, let's say, 40 of them or 50 of them in all of their imperial, whatever tenure, I think none of the places that they were ruling was left with any of its even natural treasure that the place had to offer. They took all of it, every inch of it, left them poor, hungry, dying. Like now you figure out on your own. They'll inject communal violence. They'll inject um, like
Division amongst like the country people itself, the citizens itself, how
uh,
we hated each other. The soldiers, the soldiers from our country, they joined East India Company. How uh, they wanted to shift to their country for their children, for their family. So this is kind of, I mean, disheartening. But I see why people support this colonization because of the architecture they gave, because of some kind of regulations which were made at that time, and then. But I
I mean,
disagree.
fine. They did make buildings. They did make the cities look good. Only to rule us, to sit in those
Exactly.
in
Also,
those
they were living there. They, yeah,
and hit us with the hunters. So, okay, fine, they did make buildings and those buildings still exist. All of those things are there, but that's not the thing to support them. That's not a way to cheer them. I mean, there cannot be any reason to cheer what they did. All
the
right. So,
reason behind us bursting out with such, mm, in a subtle way, anger is we need mutual respect. We need an apology, which should have been loud and clear, which should have been the way they ruled over us. If you're if you hurted us the way you did, your apology should have been that loud as well. So, which was missing all these years. They did try, but I don't think that nullifies anything else. And I'm really happy that people from India and like who have already been who are already settled in London, and they are now wealthy enough, and they have started their career there, and they have become stand-up comedians, and they how they are pulling their legs, that now that you have ruled over us, it's fine that you're dating me or something like that. I really admire that.
that's cute. That's cute. But yeah, may the queen rest in peace. And yeah, we'll keep cursing the crown as long as the history books are there, because that's what we are taught right through the schools and shown in the movies and everything.
Yeah, there are gonna be more of doom movies. Let's just put it out there, KGP.
Right. I think Ritik Roshan was the best looking queen. That
Queen, yes, correct. I agree. I agree.
all right. So, do we have anything else? Any other topics to talk about?
Well, that was all. Because it was kind of exhausting already with the British ruling
Oh, I
talk.
wrap
Yeah.
up. I think um, we both agree to this on a personal level, and a lot of our listeners will. Like Uber conversations. I wanted to touch this heavily on one of the episodes earlier, but since today we got time a little bit, maybe 5 minutes, we'll talk about the conversations that we have with Uber drivers.
Of course.
And my goodness, it's the best feeling in the world when you sit in an Uber and just ask the guy, how are you? And then he shares his life with you in next 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or whatever is the duration of your ride. So any funny conversations that you had sometime during off?
After pandemic, when I got back here, I was in conversation with this guy who recently got settled, like he got married, and of course with the love of his life, she was his college lover, and he was telling me each and every difficulty which he faced, how he got back on his foot, and the way his family struggled, and he was giving me lessons how the most important thing, how a man's brain work, which women should be aware of. And I was all my years while listening to him, because he was telling me how he struggled to buy a house here in Pune, and there is a story in each and every corner. That is what I observed. Even if I should have started recording it, because there was few of his sentences which were so raw, so unfiltered. I felt like, I was part of his family, because when I got out of that cab, I said, say hello to your wife, because I felt like there is a connection between us, because it's already been 1.5 year, half hour from airport to the house. So this connection, I just love it. Since few days, I've been avoiding it because of people are already in their phones when I get into cabs, so I cannot barge in with my conversations. But yes, I do try to make a conversation with drivers, because there is always a story.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I'll tell you this. It's not from India. Of course, in India, I talk to every Uber driver possible, but this is from Mexico. So Mexico usually, I mean, the place where I live, everybody speaks Spanish, and I speak hardly any Spanish, so I'm not very fluent to have a conversation with. But once this Uber driver came, and I just checked with him, like, does he speak English? And he was like, yeah, sure. And then he asked me, where are you from? And I said, India. The next thing he said that he visited Bharat and was head down in shame. Like, this guy from Mexico traveled all the way to India to visit Banaras to see the Aarti, evening Aarti.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't go there. So he told me so many great things, like from an outsider's point of view, about Banaras, about Varanasi. So I asked him, like, what is the thing that you like the most? And he was like, he gave me an entire itinerary. He was like, okay, in the morning you need to go to this place to eat this. From there you need to walk through these places and visit these temples. And once you are done throughout your day, after that you just have to come to this ghat, sit down, you would be tired, and just look at the aarti. Everything will be gone. And I was so blown away with the level of information that he had about Banaras. I was like, dude, I should go to Banaras. And it's definitely in top two of my checklist, Priya.
Wow.
Top of it.
You should not say your. It's what we discussed, Bhaiya. It's our next trip.
It's sure gonna be. It should be. I mean, otherwise, I just cannot meet another Uber driver who's been to Banaras and I haven't. So, all right, that's that's
We sure did.
this episode, everyone, and hope you liked it. And we'll be
Yeah,
back.
that was much light-hearted, I would say.
Like,
Uh,
so we did start with something irritating, to be honest, because the traffic congestions happening all over the country and different cities and people facing so many issues around it.
Yeah, heart to heart conversations, because I know how much annoyed you were when you landed here and you were like, oh my god, the traffic here is so mismanaged. It needs to be addressed. So I was like, okay.
But that's 2 years back. It wasn't like that. I'm telling you. It's just because of the recent construction thing that's happening. And of course, the rains, it's taking a lot of time. There's waterlogged everywhere. And the flow of traffic is comparatively slower. So I think that's the reason. But the situation in Bangalore is pathetic. People keep praising about the weather, about that city and this and that. And I'm like, okay, you can't
Maybe
say
you're missing your slow and, like without any traffic and peaceful room where you used to play piano.
no,
Maybe
it's
you're
not
missing that.
that, we also came across traffic there, but at least there's a thing called they follow the signals, to be very honest. They follow the lights.
There's a thing called signal which we follow in Mexico. Okay.
That, that's the least I'll say. And before people start thinking like, fine, just go back and get the hell out of here. I won't say anything else. I love India. India is the
It's
best.
good to be back. You should agree. I mean, you were missing all of these. Yeah, yeah. The way we
It's
greet
so
each other, the
totally.
hugs and everything. Food.
We at the same time we demand for development. Development happens by construction. Construction will need digging of roads, and digging of roads will narrow down the movement space, and hence traffic comes. So
So the idea of Swades is actually true, because he was born and brought up in India, but then he moved to US, and then he have seen something better than India. So when he gets back, it's uncomfortable for him to see his family member there living in such a condition. That's why he want something better for them. So that's why maybe people who go there and they get back, they do feel uh, discomfort, like why this should have been better, this could have been better, so why not? So I agree with you that it should have been somewhere manageable, but
absolutely.
yeah, the food is good here, but yeah, you should accept it, and thank you for the Mexican masala which you gave me. By the way, I'm
Glad that
soon gonna try that.
you haven't tried it yet, but the one pack that I brought here, I think it's half over already. So
I'm gonna use it in tomorrow's breakfast. I'll see what I can do.
all right, so we'll get the feedback about that in the next episode for people listening.
Okay.
The masala on. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with the answer. So, everybody, see you all again next time. And until then, bye and have a good one.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Hey there, thanks for listening to the podcast. Just in case you liked the episode, do leave us a rating and follow us on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to. It will be of great help if you share the podcast with your friends and tell them what podcast you're consuming. And you can also send us your questions, suggestions, feedbacks, and AMAs at pleasesaythatagainmate@gmail.com, or you can DM us on our Instagram. Our handles are there in the description of the show. And with that, I'll take your leave and see you again next week.